Imagine gazing at a night sky so vast that stars shimmer like silent questions. Beneath this cosmic canopy, our planet spins in quiet rhythm, oceans breathing in and out against endless shores. What if all this beauty, the forests, the storms, the heartbeat of tides, was not only a home but a carefully arranged environment for a purpose we rarely consider? What if Earth itself is a test, a place where every moment invites discovery about who we truly are? The idea stirs a gentle curiosity. Could our daily challenges, our triumphs and failures, be more than random events? Perhaps each sunrise is an invitation, each obstacle a quiet prompt, as if the world around us is a vast classroom disguised as a living planet. The mountains, the seas, even the silent drift of clouds might be part of a grand curriculum designed to reveal our deepest nature. From the smallest seed pushing through soil to the distant hum of galaxies, every detail could hold meaning. The patience of a growing tree, the resilience of a migrating bird, the sudden flash of a storm, all might be lessons in endurance, cooperation, or all. If Earth is a test, perhaps it teaches not through lectures but through experience, each moment a question posed without words. Cultures across time have sensed something similar. Ancient myths speak of realms where souls are shaped and judged. Philosophers wonder if life itself is an examination of character. These stories may not be literal instructions, but they echo a shared intuition, that existence is more than survival, and that every choice whispers into a larger mystery. Science offers its own kind of wonder. It reveals fine-tuned constants and delicate balances that make life possible, as though the planet were set to precise conditions for a hidden reason. While science seeks explanations in physics and chemistry, it also uncovers coincidences so striking they invite reflection on whether chance alone can account for such harmony. To rest beneath the stars and let these thoughts drift across the mind is not to demand an answer, but to feel the question. If Earth is a test, perhaps the first step is simply noticing, listening to the quiet invitation of the universe to wonder, to feel, and to awaken to possibilities beyond the ordinary. Imagine Earth as a grand experiment, a world designed not just to sustain life, but to observe how life responds. The air we breathe, the gravity that grounds us, the repeating cycles of day and night, all could be conditions in an immense laboratory, their precision too elegant to be mere coincidence. If this planet were a test, perhaps every natural law and every breath of wind was chosen to reveal the nature of those who inhabit it. Consider the way challenges appear in every life. Storms destroy and renew, seasons demand adaptation, and resources require ingenuity to harvest and share. These hardships could be more than random obstacles. They might be subtle prompts to measure resilience, cooperation, and compassion. Each difficulty would then hold hidden meaning, a question quietly asked by the world itself. How will you respond? Even our relationships could be part of this silent evaluation. Friendships, conflicts, love, and loss may all serve to expose qualities like patience, forgiveness, and courage. When we choose empathy over indifference or kindness over anger, we might be demonstrating the very lessons this planetary classroom was meant to teach. Throughout history, people have sensed a deeper purpose behind existence. Ancient texts speak of gods observing human behavior. Philosophers propose that consciousness itself might be undergoing an examination. While these traditions differ, they share a common intuition that life is more than chance, and that each action carries weight beyond the present moment. Science, though cautious of metaphysical claims, often uncovers patterns that inspire wonder. The universe's physical constants are finely tuned to permit life, as though the cosmos expected observers to emerge. The precise alignment of our planet within the solar system allows for a fragile yet enduring ecosystem. Such improbabilities invite reflection. Could this careful calibration be part of a larger design to see how intelligent beings navigate freedom and responsibility? As night deepens and stars appear, this premise grows more compelling. Whether one imagines a higher intelligence or an unknown cosmic principle, the possibility lingers that Earth is more than a habitat. It may be a mirror, a stage, a silent proctor watching as we reveal who we truly are, not through declarations, but through the quiet choices we make each day. To wonder if Earth is a test is to imagine a beginning far beyond ordinary history. Picture an intelligence vast enough to sculpt galaxies, selecting a small blue world as the setting for a grand experiment. In this vision, every element, oceans, atmosphere, magnetic field, was chosen with care, creating a habitat capable of nurturing both body and spirit. Whether metaphor or mystery, the thought reshapes the familiar, turning each sunrise into evidence of careful preparation for something greater than mere survival. From its fiery birth, the planet developed conditions perfectly suited for life. Gravity held the atmosphere in place, water condensed into oceans, and chemical reactions sparked the earliest organisms. Science describes these events in terms of physics and chemistry, yet the improbability of such precise balance leaves room for speculation. If a higher intelligence sought to create a proving ground, these early eons might have been the deliberate construction of a classroom, patiently assembled over billions of years. The arrival of life could be seen as the opening of the test itself. Simple microbes emerged, evolving into complex plants and animals. Each new form introduced opportunities for cooperation, adaptation, and the slow emergence of consciousness. Perhaps the ultimate goal was not merely biological diversity, but the birth of beings capable of choice, creatures who could reflect, wonder, and decide how to live. Humanity's appearance marks a striking turn in this imagined design. With language, memory, and imagination, humans became aware not only of their surroundings but of themselves. They could shape tools, build societies, and ponder their origins. If Earth is indeed a test, then self-awareness might be its central question. What will conscious beings do with freedom? How will they treat one another, the planet, and the mystery of existence itself? Across cultures, myths of creation often hint at such a purpose. Stories of gods breathing life into clay or planting gardens of trial reflect an ancient intuition that life is both gift and challenge. These narratives may be poetic echoes of a deeper truth, that existence is not an accident but an invitation to growth, offered by forces beyond our understanding. To sit with this possibility is to feel both wonder and responsibility. If the Earth is a carefully prepared examination hall, then every choice, kindness or cruelty, stewardship or neglect, becomes significant. The question may not be whether we pass or fail, but whether we recognize the test at all and respond with the wisdom it quietly asks of us. If Earth were truly a test, the most revealing questions might be hidden in ordinary moments. Each sunrise, each conversation, each quiet decision could serve as a subtle measure of how we learn, grow, and respond. Rather than dramatic trials, perhaps the exam unfolds through small acts of empathy, patience, and curiosity, choices made when no one seems to be watching. Daily challenges become more than coincidence when viewed this way. A sudden delay might be a lesson in patience, a disagreement could test compassion, an unexpected opportunity might invite generosity. These events arrive without instructions, leaving us to decide whether to act with kindness or indifference. If there is a higher observer, perhaps it is not grading outcomes but noticing how we shape our character through these seemingly simple encounters. Nature itself may function as a silent teacher. A forest recovering after a storm demonstrates resilience. The migration of birds reveals cooperation across great distances. The quiet persistence of a river carving rock over centuries speaks of perseverance. Each example reflects qualities that life seems eager to cultivate in us: strength, unity, and the ability to adapt. Our relationships carry similar lessons. Love invites trust and selflessness. Friendship requires loyalty and understanding. Even conflict can reveal courage or humility. The bonds we form challenge us to see beyond ourselves, to value connection over isolation. If Earth is a test, these relationships may be the questions that matter most, asking how deeply we can care for one another. Ancient wisdom traditions echo this idea. Many teach that enlightenment comes not from grand revelations but from mindful living, treating others with respect, honoring the earth, and seeking harmony within. These teachings suggest that the test is less about proving worth to an external judge and more about awakening to the interconnectedness of all life. Seen through this lens, every breath is an opportunity to practice awareness. The test may not be about passing or failing, but about becoming, transforming through daily choices that reveal who we truly are. Whether or not a higher intelligence set the exam, the quiet invitation remains to live with purpose, compassion, and a recognition that each moment holds meaning beyond what we can immediately see. If Earth truly functions as a test, the natural world may hold subtle signals meant to guide or inspire us. Consider the precision of planetary rhythms, the moon's gravitational pull that shapes tides, the steady tilt of Earth's axis that brings reliable seasons, the migration of animals that track magnetic fields with unerring accuracy. These recurring patterns feel like quiet reminders that life moves within a larger order, an order we are invited to notice and respect. Weather, too, can seem like a teacher. Gentle rains nurture crops and forests, while powerful storms demand humility and cooperation. Droughts challenge communities to conserve and share. Sudden floods reveal both vulnerability and resilience. Whether or not these events are intentional prompts, they function as lessons in balance and adaptation, asking us to respond with creativity and care. Even the smallest organisms carry messages of persistence and interdependence. Coral reefs build vast ecosystems one tiny polyp at a time. Bees pollinate countless plants, linking the survival of species across continents. Fungi knit forests together through underground networks, moving nutrients from tree to tree. These quiet collaborations hint at a truth the test may be designed to reveal, that thriving requires cooperation more than competition. The night sky adds a cosmic dimension to these signals. Stars trace constellations that inspired ancient navigators and storytellers, while comets and eclipses remind us of our place in a vast universe. Their slow, predictable movements suggest that we are part of something both immense and precise, a context that dwarfs our daily concerns yet invites awe and curiosity. Science helps us recognize these patterns with remarkable clarity. Satellites track ocean currents that regulate climate, and instruments detect the faint hum of gravitational waves from distant galaxies. The more we learn, the more we see a world stitched together by invisible threads, as if an intricate exam is hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to notice the questions written in wind, water, and light. Perhaps the signals of nature are not commands but gentle prompts, opportunities to align our lives with a harmony already present. Whether placed here by chance or design, these patterns encourage reflection, to live with awareness, to cooperate with the planet's rhythms, and to remember that every rustling leaf and shimmering star may be part of a larger invitation to grow in wisdom and wonder. If Earth is a test, then humanity's collective behavior becomes the unfolding answer sheet. Our daily choices, how we treat one another, how we care for the planet, how we use knowledge, may reveal the lessons we have absorbed or ignored. Every invention, conflict, or act of compassion can be seen as a response to an unseen question. What will these beings do with awareness and freedom? Consider how we build societies. From the earliest villages to sprawling cities, humans organize themselves in patterns that reflect both cooperation and tension. We create laws to balance justice with mercy, art to express the inexpressible, and technologies that amplify both our creativity and our capacity for harm. Each achievement and misstep could be interpreted as a test of wisdom, whether we can innovate without destroying, expand without exploiting, and lead without dominating. Our relationship with the natural world is equally telling. We harvest resources to survive and thrive, yet we are asked implicitly to protect the very systems that sustain us. Deforestation, pollution, and climate change challenge us to recognize limits and responsibilities. Perhaps the test is not about abstaining from progress, but about advancing while preserving balance, a lesson in restraint and stewardship written across landscapes and oceans. Individual lives mirror these larger patterns. Moments of choice, whether to forgive, to share, to speak the truth, become personal exams of character. Acts of kindness, however small, ripple outward like pebbles dropped into a vast pond. If a higher intelligence observes, it may value not grand gestures but the quiet integrity of everyday decisions that shape the moral texture of our lives. Cultures and philosophies across history hint at this possibility. Sacred texts speak of judgment and growth, while humanist traditions emphasize ethical responsibility without divine oversight. Both perspectives converge on a shared insight. Our actions matter beyond their immediate consequences. Whether evaluated by a cosmic examiner or by the echoes we leave in future generations, what we do carries enduring significance. Perhaps the ultimate measure of humanity's response is not perfection, but awareness. To recognize that our choices are woven into a larger narrative is to approach the test with humility and care. Whether or not a higher being set the challenge, the simple act of living thoughtfully, of seeing ourselves as stewards rather than owners, may be the answer the planet quietly seeks. If Earth were truly a test, many of its most important questions might arrive disguised as everyday challenges. A sudden illness, an unexpected loss, or a moment of moral conflict can feel random, yet each carries an opportunity to reveal strength, compassion, or wisdom. These personal trials rarely come with clear instructions. Instead, they invite us to decide, quietly, freely, how we will act when comfort and certainty are gone. Even the planet's natural forces present lessons behind their beauty and danger. Earthquakes reshape landscapes without warning. Storms sweep across coasts with breathtaking power. These events remind us of our vulnerability, while urging us to build resilience and support one another. In the context of a cosmic test, disasters may not be punishments but prompts, asking how we respond to loss and whether we can rebuild with empathy and cooperation. Social and cultural struggles offer subtler exams. Inequality, prejudice, and conflict challenge entire communities to choose between division and understanding. The decisions we make as societies, how we share resources, how we treat the marginalized, how we resolve disputes, might reveal more about our collective character than any technological achievement. Each moment of tension becomes a chance to practice justice and compassion on a scale larger than the individual. There are internal challenges as well. Fear, envy, and pride test the boundaries of the human spirit, while humility, gratitude, and courage offer paths to growth. No outside observer needs to intervene. Our own hearts become the testing ground. In facing these inner trials, we discover whether we can nurture love over fear and curiosity over complacency. Throughout history, cultures have interpreted hardship as meaningful. From parables of spiritual purification to philosophies of personal development, people have long sensed that adversity can shape the soul. Whether these insights come from divine revelation or human observation, they converge on a simple truth. Struggle can refine character, revealing depths of resilience and kindness we might never otherwise discover. Perhaps these hidden challenges are not meant to be passed or failed in the usual sense. Instead, they might encourage us to become more aware, more compassionate, and more attuned to the interconnection of all life. If Earth is indeed a test, its greatest questions may be written not in the stars but the quiet moments when we choose how to face difficulty, moments that show who we are and, perhaps, who we are capable of becoming. Across the ages, human history reads like a tapestry of hints and turning points, as if the test of Earth unfolds not only in individual lives but in the collective story of civilizations. Empires rise and fall, inventions reshape daily existence, and ideas travel like seeds on the wind, each development offering lessons about cooperation, responsibility, and the consequences of power. If Earth is a test, history might be its long, unfolding curriculum, revealing how we respond to both triumph and catastrophe. Consider how knowledge emerges in waves. Periods of great discovery, such as the scientific revolutions or the sudden flowering of art and philosophy in ancient cultures, often follow times of struggle. Hardship forces creativity. Curiosity drives progress. These cycles could be read as the exam's evolving questions, asking whether we will use our growing intelligence to nurture life or to dominate and destroy. Moments of moral awakening also stand out. Abolition movements, civil rights campaigns, and global humanitarian efforts show humanity grappling with the challenge of justice. Each success is a collective answer, a demonstration that compassion and equality can triumph over fear and division. Failures, too, speak volumes, reminding us that the test is ongoing and that every generation must choose empathy over cruelty. Even the planet itself participates in these historical lessons. Climate shifts have prompted migrations and cultural exchanges that shape languages, religions, and trade networks. Natural events, volcanic eruptions, plagues, and droughts have forced societies to adapt, collaborate, or perish. Each challenge seems to ask, will we learn to live within the planet's limits and respect its rhythms? Technological milestones bring their own examinations. The harnessing of fire, the invention of the printing press, the arrival of the digital age, each breakthrough magnifies human potential and risk. These moments measure not only ingenuity, but also wisdom. Can we wield power without losing our sense of stewardship? Will we create tools that heal or harm, unite or divide? Viewed through the lens of a cosmic test, history becomes more than a record of dates and battles. It is a dialogue between humanity and the forces that shape existence, a long series of questions about how we use freedom, knowledge, and compassion. Whether or not a higher being set this exam, the narrative of our past invites reflection on what we have learned and on how those lessons will guide the choices still ahead. Time itself can feel like the most subtle examiner of all. It moves with quiet inevitability, eroding mountains, reshaping rivers, and carrying civilizations through cycles of birth and decline. If Earth were truly a test, time would be the invisible proctor, measuring not only what we achieve but how we change. Each second offers a question. Will we grow wiser or simply older? Geology records this silent evaluation in layers of stone and ice. Fossils preserve the rise and fall of species. Tree rings track centuries of climate and growth. These natural archives show a planet in constant motion, yet balanced enough to nurture life across billions of years. The steady beat of these rhythms might be the clearest sign that the test is designed for patience, urging us to think beyond a single lifetime. Life's evolution reflects time's gentle but relentless hand. Simple organisms gave way to complex ecosystems, and eventually to creatures capable of thought and empathy. Each leap forward could be read as a milestone in a larger curriculum, from survival to awareness, from instinct to choice. Whether one attributes these transitions to natural selection or a guiding intelligence, the timing feels exquisitely poised. Human culture adds another dimension. We measure time with calendars and clocks, but also with stories, traditions, and art. We honor ancestors, teach history, and plan for generations to come. In doing so, we acknowledge that our existence is part of something longer and more intricate than a single human span. If Earth is a test, perhaps one lesson is that meaning unfolds slowly, rewarding those who can look past immediate gain to the enduring consequences of their actions. Moments of crisis sharpen this awareness. Natural disasters, wars, and social upheavals compress time, forcing urgent choices that reveal character. Yet even in upheaval, the planet continues its steady rotation, reminding us that the long arc of time dwarfs our brief dramas. This contrast invites humility and perspective, qualities any great test might seek to cultivate. In the quiet sweep of ages, we find a paradox. Everything changes, yet the underlying order endures. Mountains rise and crumble, species appear and vanish, but the principles that sustain life remain. Whether we see this as the outcome of physics or the intent of a higher being, time's flow encourages us to live thoughtfully, to act as if our choices matter, because within the endless river of time, they truly do. Everywhere we look, life on Earth is woven into a single intricate tapestry. Forests breathe in carbon dioxide and exhale the oxygen that sustains animals and humans. Rivers carry nutrients from mountains to seas, nourishing plankton that feed vast marine ecosystems. Pollinators like bees and butterflies link distant meadows through the simple act of gathering nectar. If Earth is a test, this grand network of interdependence might be the most important lesson. Survival depends on connection. Consider how delicately these systems cooperate. A forest's health relies on fungi beneath the soil, which shuttle nutrients between tree roots like a hidden internet. Ocean currents, driven by differences in temperature and salinity, regulate global climate and distribute life-giving minerals across thousands of miles. Even microscopic organisms recycle the elements that make air breathable and soil fertile. Each part plays a role so precise that removing one can disrupt the balance of the whole. Humanity's place in this web is both central and precarious. We depend on ecosystems for food, water, and air, yet our actions, deforestation, pollution, overfishing, can unravel the very systems that sustain us. Perhaps the test lies in whether we recognize that our well-being is inseparable from the health of everything around us. The question is not just how we thrive, but whether we can live as respectful participants in the planet's shared life. History offers warnings and inspiration. Civilizations that ignored ecological limits often collapsed, while those that honored natural rhythms endured. Ancient agricultural societies tracked the stars and seasons to maintain harmony with their environment. Today, renewable energy initiatives and conservation movements continue that tradition, seeking to align human progress with the planet's enduring patterns. Each effort reflects a choice to protect the fabric of life rather than tear it apart. Science now reveals these connections in extraordinary detail. Satellite imagery shows dust from the Sahara fertilizing the Amazon, while genetic studies trace the shared ancestry of all living things. Climate research confirms that a change in one region's atmosphere affects weather across the globe. These discoveries underscore an ancient intuition. The Earth functions as a single, breathing organism where every action resonates far beyond its origin. If this interconnectedness is part of a cosmic examination, the test may be simple yet profound. Will we act as isolated individuals or as caretakers within a living whole? The more we understand these links, the clearer the invitation becomes. Our challenge is to honor the web of interconnection not only as a marvel of nature, but as a responsibility, proving through our choices that we have learned the lesson written in every river, forest, and cloud. If Earth is a test, then our freedom to choose may be its most revealing feature. Unlike the instincts that guide animals or the fixed laws that govern the stars, human beings can pause, reflect, and decide. Every decision, how we treat a stranger, how we share resources, how we care for the planet, becomes a mirror reflecting the values we hold inside. This freedom is both a gift and a challenge, asking not only what we will do, but why. Choice appears everywhere in our lives, often disguised as routine. We decide whether to listen or dismiss, to forgive or resent, to create or to destroy. Small actions ripple outward, shaping families, communities, and ecosystems. In the context of a cosmic examination, these moments may carry more significance than any grand event, for they reveal the quiet truths of character that no spectacle could display. Technology magnifies this responsibility. We can heal diseases or create weapons of immense destruction. We can restore forests or accelerate climate change. Each breakthrough offers a question. Will we use our abilities to nurture life or to dominate it? If a higher intelligence observes, perhaps it is less interested in our inventions than in the intentions behind them. Cultures across time have recognized the power of moral choice. Religious texts speak of free will as a sacred trust. Philosophers debate ethics as the heart of human purpose. These traditions, though diverse, agree on one point. What we choose shapes who we become. Whether or not a divine examiner waits beyond the stars, our own history records the consequences of decisions made with wisdom or without it. The natural world, too, reflects this principle. A forest regrows where careful stewardship prevails. A reef collapses when overfishing goes unchecked. Nature responds impartially to our choices, rewarding balance and punishing excess without need for a celestial judge. In this sense, the planet itself becomes the greater of the test, its feedback written in climate patterns, soil fertility, and the health of living systems. Perhaps the greatest question is whether we recognize the weight of our freedom. To live as though our actions matter beyond a moment is to honor the possibility that we are part of something vast and meaningful. Whether Earth was designed as a test or simply provides the conditions for one, our choices form the answers, written not on paper, but on the living surface of the world we share. If Earth is a test, perhaps the most striking evidence is our own ability to recognize it. Humans alone can step back from daily survival and wonder why we exist, sensing patterns and asking questions about meaning. This capacity for self-awareness is extraordinary. We do not merely live. We observe ourselves living, capable of awe and moral reflection. Such consciousness might be the very skill the test is designed to measure. Throughout history, people have sought understanding in different ways. Ancient sages meditated in silence, philosophers debated the nature of reality, and scientists built telescopes to peer into the universe. Each effort, though different in method, points to a shared impulse, to comprehend our place in something larger than ourselves. It is as though the desire to know is woven into our very being, inner signal that discovery is part of our purpose. Art and storytelling reveal another layer of awareness. From cave paintings to symphonies and novels, humans express wonder and curiosity through creativity. These works often grapple with questions of origin, morality, and destiny, suggesting that imagination is not mere diversion, but an essential part of understanding. If Earth is a test, perhaps our art is both evidence of learning and a record of how we wrestle with the unknown. Spiritual traditions echo this theme. Whether through prayer, meditation, or rituals of gratitude, people across cultures reach towards something beyond the visible. These practices invite stillness and humility, cultivating the inner clarity needed to discern meaning. Even those who reject formal religion often experience moments of transcendence, a sense of connection that defies explanation yet feels undeniably real. Science, too, nurtures this awareness. By uncovering the laws of physics and the intricacies of DNA, we gain glimpses of a universe both orderly and mysterious. Each discovery brings new questions, reminding us that knowledge is endless and that curiosity itself might be the ultimate lesson. Awareness, after all, is not just about facts. It is about wonder. Perhaps the quiet message of this planetary examination is that recognizing the test is itself an answer. To notice beauty in a sunset, to feel reverence for life, to act with compassion, because we understand our shared existence, these may be the true indicators of growth. Whether a higher being set this stage or it arose from cosmic chance, our awareness transforms simple survival into a journey of meaning, turning each moment into a conscious step toward understanding who we are and why we are here. If Earth is a test, then purpose becomes the heart of its mystery. Every sunrise and storm, every joy and challenge, may be part of a grand inquiry. What will intelligent beings choose to value? Our actions, kindness or cruelty, stewardship or neglect, reveal what we hold sacred. The question is not simply how we survive, but what we decide life itself means. Throughout history, humans have sought this meaning in many ways. Some look to faith, imagining a divine plan. Others turn to philosophy or science, seeking patterns that explain our place in the cosmos. Despite different answers, the search itself unites us. It shows that we are not content with mere existence. We yearn for significance. This yearning might be more than curiosity. It could be the very essence of the examination. Nature offers constant invitations to reflect on purpose. The renewal of forests after fire, the migration of whales across vast oceans, the steady return of seasons, all hint that life tends toward continuity and connection. Perhaps the test asks whether we will mirror that balance in our own choices, protecting what is fragile and sustaining what is beautiful. Individual lives echo this quest. We build families, create art, and strive for justice not only to pass time, but to leave a mark, to contribute to something enduring. Acts of compassion and creativity may be the clearest demonstrations of meaning we can give, answers written not in words but in the legacy we leave behind. Yet the possibility of a cosmic observer need not frighten or constrain us. If a higher intelligence watches, it may not demand perfection but growth. The test might measure not flawless success but our willingness to learn, to evolve in empathy and wisdom. Seen this way, every mistake becomes an opportunity, every setback a lesson rather than a failure. Perhaps the ultimate purpose is simply to realize that meaning is ours to create and to share. Whether Earth was designed as a trial or is simply a wondrous accident, the challenge remains the same: to live with intention, to care for one another and the planet, and to shape our brief time into something worthy of the vast universe that surrounds us. In answering that call, we give the test and our lives the richest meaning possible. The world presents a striking balance of opposites: light and darkness, calm and storm, birth and decay. If Earth is a test, these contrasts may be more than coincidences. They could be deliberate lessons about coexistence and balance. Mountains rise from violent tectonic forces yet cradle quiet valleys. Forest fires destroy old growth while clearing space for renewal. Each extreme seems to carry its opposite within it, demonstrating that creation and destruction are not enemies but partners in an endless dance. In nature, harmony often emerges from tension. Predator and prey maintain ecological equilibrium. Storms redistribute heat and water, sustaining life even as they disrupt it. A single ecosystem thrives because countless interactions, some gentle, some fierce, are held in a dynamic balance. If the planet were designed to teach, these patterns might remind us that peace is not the absence of conflict but the ability to integrate difference into a greater whole. Human experience mirrors this truth. Joy gains depth when set against sorrow, courage grows in the face of fear, and love often strengthens through challenge. Our societies advance through debate and compromise, finding unity not by erasing disagreement but by transforming it into understanding. Perhaps the test is to recognize that contrast is essential, that harmony does not mean sameness but respectful coexistence. Even the cosmos speaks this language. Stars are born in the collapse of immense clouds and die in brilliant explosions, scattering the elements that form planets and life. Galaxies collide, yet from the apparent chaos new structures emerge. These grand processes suggest that the universe itself thrives on the creative interplay of forces, revealing a design in which change and opposition fuel growth. Philosophers and spiritual traditions have long drawn wisdom from these contrasts. Yin and yang, light and shadow, creation myths, and apocalyptic visions all reflect an intuition that the fabric of existence is woven from complementary forces. Whether these insights arose from observation or inspiration, they echo the possibility that Earth's greatest lesson is to find balance in a world of dualities. If this is indeed a test, then recognizing and embracing contrast may be a vital answer. To live well is to honor both stillness and motion, to find beauty in impermanence, and to accept that opposites can create a richer, more resilient whole. In every sunrise after darkness and every spring after winter, we glimpse the quiet guidance of a universe that teaches through the harmony of contrast. If Earth is a test, it may be one designed to show how deeply every destiny is tied to another. From the microscopic life in a drop of water to the vast migrations of whales, existence depends on intricate connections. No species, no river, no breeze stand alone. Every action, whether the fall of a leaf or the decision of a single person, reverberates through the whole system, reminding us that independence is an illusion and interdependence is the true nature of life. Consider how ecosystems operate as living networks. Trees share nutrients through underground fungal webs, sustaining weaker neighbors. Ocean currents carry nutrients thousands of miles to feed coral reefs and plankton blooms. Even the air we breathe contains molecules exhaled by ancient forests and distant seas. Each exchange is both literal and symbolic, a silent lesson that survival is a collective achievement. Human society mirrors this profound interconnection. Trade winds that once guided explorers now carry signals for global communication. Economies rise and fall together, and ideas leap continents in seconds. A drought in one region can influence food supplies and politics across the world. Whether we acknowledge it or not, our fates are braided with those of strangers and unseen landscapes. This web of connection might itself be the test's central challenge. Will we recognize that harming the environment ultimately harms ourselves? Will we choose cooperation over conflict, understanding that every gain achieved through exploitation is temporary and costly? The examination may not be of strength or intellect, but of empathy, our ability to act for the common good rather than short-term advantage. Ancient cultures often understood this truth intuitively. Indigenous traditions speak of all beings, plants, animals, rivers, stones, as relatives, not resources. Modern science now confirms these insights with data, revealing feedback loops that sustain climate stability and biodiversity. Both perspectives point to the same conclusion. Life thrives when relationships are honored and falters when they are ignored. Perhaps the ultimate measure of this planetary test is our willingness to live as part of the whole, to see ourselves not as rulers but as participants, to cherish the invisible threads that bind us to every creature and current, maybe the quiet answer the Earth has been waiting for. In recognizing our shared destiny, we begin to meet the challenge set before us, whether by chance, by nature, or by a higher intelligence watching from beyond the stars. Throughout the planet's long story, there are moments when everything changes, periods of transformation that feel almost scripted. Ice ages give way to warm eras, extinctions open space for new species, and sudden bursts of creativity reshape human culture. If Earth is a test, these turning points might be carefully placed questions, asking how life will adapt when the familiar disappears. Consider the Great Oxidation Event, when microscopic organisms fill the atmosphere with oxygen, enabling complex life. A slight delay or a different balance of gases could have halted evolution, yet the timing was perfect for new forms to emerge. Later, massive extinctions, though catastrophic, cleared ecological space for mammals and, eventually, humans. Each pivot in Earth's history seems to challenge life to grow more resilient and inventive. Human civilization echoes this rhythm. The agricultural revolution shifted us from nomadic bands to settled communities, testing our ability to cooperate and manage resources. The Industrial Revolution demanded we balance technological progress with social and environmental costs. Today, digital networks and climate change create another inflection point, asking whether we can harness knowledge for collective well-being or allow division and excess to dominate. Individual lives follow similar arcs. Illness, loss, or sudden opportunity can rearrange priorities in an instant. These personal turning points are often painful yet transformative, revealing strengths and insights we might never discover in calmer times. Perhaps the test is not to avoid upheaval, but to meet it with courage and adaptability. Philosophers and spiritual teachers have long recognized the power of such thresholds. Myths of death and rebirth, stories of heroic quests, and rituals of initiation all echo the idea that progress requires crossing from the known into the unknown. Whether these transitions are planned by a higher mind or are natural steps in life's unfolding, they push us toward deeper understanding. If Earth is indeed a test, turning points may be its most eloquent questions. They ask whether we can evolve in wisdom as well as skill, whether we can face uncertainty without losing compassion. In every upheaval, planetary or personal, lies an invitation to growth. How we answer may define not only our future, but the very meaning of the journey we share. If Earth is a test, one of its clearest questions may be how we handle responsibility. Every generation inherits a planet shaped by countless choices, some wise, some reckless, and must decide what legacy to leave in return. Our ability to care for ecosystems, protect one another, and steward resources reveals not only what we value, but who we are becoming. Responsibility begins with awareness. We know that forests absorb carbon, oceans regulate climate, and biodiversity keeps life resilient. This knowledge carries weight. Once we understand the stakes, inaction becomes a decision of its own. The test may not be about accumulating facts, but about acting on what we know, turning understanding into stewardship. Our daily habits form a quiet ledger of answers. Choosing renewable energy, reducing waste, or simply conserving water are small acts with global impact. Likewise, supporting fairness and empathy in our communities shapes the social environment for future generations. These choices may feel ordinary, but they echo through time, signaling whether we accept the role of caretaker or merely consumer. History offers powerful examples of responsibility embraced or ignored. Societies that overused land or water often collapsed, while those that practiced conservation thrived for centuries. Modern successes, such as ozone recovery through international cooperation, show how collective will can repair damage. Each story is a reminder that the test rewards foresight and humility more than speed or ambition. On a personal level, responsibility includes how we treat each other. Acts of honesty, kindness, and forgiveness create ripples that strengthen communities and inspire others to do the same. If a higher intelligence observes, perhaps it values these quiet demonstrations of moral courage above any grand display of power. Ultimately, responsibility is an invitation to recognize our interconnectedness. To care for Earth is to care for ourselves and for countless lives yet to come. Whether the planet is a divine classroom or a remarkable accident, the challenge is the same: to live as if our actions matter, because they do. Our response to this call may be the most important answer we can offer in the great examination of existence. If Earth is a test, it rarely shouts its questions. More often, it teaches through silence, through the steady turning of seasons, the hush of a forest at dawn, the patient shaping of mountains by wind and rain. These quiet lessons invite observation rather than haste. They suggest that understanding comes not from force, but from careful attention to the world as it is. Nature's subtle guidance is everywhere. A seed sprouting after winter shows the power of resilience. The rhythm of tides demonstrates balance between opposing forces. The slow erosion of rock into fertile soil illustrates how time transforms even the hardest obstacles into new beginnings. Such examples offer wisdom without words, encouraging patience, humility, and respect for processes beyond our control. Human life contains similar whispers of guidance. A sudden feeling of awe before a sunset, the calm that follows deep breath, the insight that arrives during solitude. These are moments when the noise of daily tasks fades and a deeper awareness surfaces. Perhaps the test measures not how loudly we strive, but how well we listen to these quiet signals of meaning. Many traditions honor this silent teacher. Indigenous practices of stillness in nature, contemplative meditation, and the art of listening to one's surroundings all reflect an ancient understanding that truth often speaks softly. Modern science, too, values careful observation, proving again and again that breakthroughs begin with attentive watching and patient curiosity. Technology can distract us from these lessons, filling life with constant alerts and rapid demands. Yet even in a world of noise, the invitation to pause remains. A simple walk in the woods or a moment beneath the night sky reconnects us to the rhythms that have guided life for billions of years. The planet continues its teaching whether or not we notice. The choice to learn is ours. If Earth is indeed a test, its quiet instruction may be the most profound. It asks whether we can slow down enough to see the connections around us, to value reflection over distraction, and to recognize that wisdom often arrives not in grand revelations but in the gentle silence of a living world. Listening, perhaps, is the answer the test has been waiting for all along. Throughout the story of life, Earth presents countless thresholds, moments when the familiar gives way to the unknown. Rivers shift course, climates warm or cool, and species adapt or disappear. If this planet is indeed a test, these transitions might be carefully placed prompts, asking whether we can navigate change with creativity and grace. Consider the great migrations of the past. Early humans crossed continents in search of food and shelter, learning to survive in deserts, tundra, and tropical forests. Each journey demanded ingenuity and cooperation, shaping cultures and languages that endure today. These ancient passages can be seen as quiet exams, measuring resilience and the willingness to explore beyond comfort. The planet continues to set new thresholds. Rising seas challenge coastal cities. Shifting weather patterns test our ability to cooperate across borders. Technological revolutions, from a steam engine to the digital age, transform how we think, work, and relate. Each leap forward carries a question. Will we use new power to deepen connection and wisdom, or to divide and exploit? On a personal scale, thresholds arrive in many forms. A career change, a sudden loss, a moment of unexpected love. Such turning points strip away certainty and reveal the core of who we are. They ask us to release what no longer serves us and to step into unfamiliar possibilities, echoing the planet's own cycles of renewal. Cultures have long honored these passages. Rites of initiation, pilgrimages, and coming-of-age ceremonies all recognize that growth requires crossing into the unknown. These traditions suggest that transformation is not merely survival. It is the point of the journey. If Earth is a test, thresholds of change may be its most revealing questions. They challenge us to adapt without losing compassion, to let go while holding on to our deepest values. Each crossing, whether geological, societal, or personal, invites us to demonstrate resilience and to trust that beyond uncertainty lies a wider understanding of ourselves and of the world we share. Look closely at life on Earth, and you'll find breathtaking variety. Rainforests humming with color and sound, deserts shimmering with quiet strength, deep oceans alive with creatures of light. Cultures differ in language, art, and belief, yet every person shares the same basic needs for food, water, shelter, and love. If this planet is a test, its endless diversity may be intentional, a lesson that difference is not division, but a path to understanding unity. Nature thrives on variety. Genetic diversity allows species to adapt to shifting climates. Ecosystems flourish when many kinds of plants and animals interact. Coral reefs, prairies, and mountain forests all rely on complex mixtures of life to remain resilient. These patterns suggest that strength is born from multiplicity, a principle that could guide how we build communities and solve global challenges. Human society reflects the same truth. Across history, cultures have exchanged ideas through trade, migration, and exploration, weaving a global tapestry of music, cuisine, philosophy, and technology. Every innovation, from agriculture to the internet, owes something to encounters between different peoples. The lesson may be clear. Our progress depends on collaboration across boundaries. At times, however, we struggle to honor diversity. Prejudice, conflict, and fear of the unfamiliar create fractures that threaten the very fabric of civilization. If Earth is testing us, perhaps these moments of tension are opportunities to prove that we can celebrate difference without losing a sense of shared humanity. Spiritual and philosophical traditions often point toward this unity. Teachings from many cultures emphasize compassion, empathy, and the recognition that all beings are interconnected. Whether expressed as love your neighbor, all life is sacred, or the oneness of existence, the message remains consistent. Beneath outward distinctions lies a common essence. To embrace unity and diversity may be one of the exam's highest questions. It asks us to look beyond surface differences and see the single web of life that binds us all. By valuing every culture, species, and landscape as part of one grand design, we answer not with words but with action, showing that we understand the beauty of a world where countless forms coexist in a single harmonious whole. Among all the emotions humans experience, wonder may be the most revealing. It rises unbidden at the sight of a star-filled sky, the hush of a vast canyon, or the delicate pattern of a single leaf. If Earth is a test, perhaps this feeling of awe is the compass we are meant to follow, the gentle force that keeps us curious, humble, and open to mystery. Wonder slows the mind's restless search for certainty. It invites us to pause, breathe, and notice details we might otherwise overlook. The rhythmic lapping of waves, the intricate veins of a butterfly's wing, the quiet glow of distant galaxies. These moments expand our perspective, reminding us that we are part of something far larger than our daily concerns. Science, too, is born of wonder. Every discovery, from the laws of motion to the structure of DNA, began with someone asking a simple, awe-inspired question: why? Curiosity drives us to explore, to understand, and to push the boundaries of knowledge. Whether or not a higher intelligence designed the cosmos, our instinct to inquire might itself be a key element of the examination. Art and music echo this same impulse. A painting that captures the shimmer of light on water, or a melody that stirs the heart, both arise from the human desire to express what words alone cannot hold. These creations are not merely decorative. They are testaments to our ability to translate wonder into something that touches others, deepening the shared experience of. Even the smallest encounters can awaken this response. A child's laughter, a sudden scent of rain, the quiet symmetry of a snowflake. Such moments suggest that wonder does not require grand spectacles. It thrives in the ordinary, revealing beauty where we least expect it and reminding us that meaning is always within reach. Perhaps the lesson hidden in wonder is simple yet profound. Stay open. In a world that often rewards speed and certainty, wonder calls us back to curiosity, gratitude, and reverence. If the Earth is a test, Our capacity to marvel at its mysteries may be one of the clearest signs that we recognize the gift of existence and are willing to engage with it fully, heart and mind awake to the infinite. If Earth is indeed a test, then living with intention may be its most direct question. To move through life deliberately, aware of how each action shapes both present and future, is to acknowledge that existence carries weight and meaning. Intention transforms ordinary routines into conscious choices, turning every meal, conversation, or walk beneath the stars into an answer written on the fabric of the world. Intentional living begins with attention. It asks us to notice the taste of water, the sound of wind in trees, the quiet need of those around us. When we act from awareness rather than habit, we align with the deeper rhythms of nature and community. Even small gestures, listening fully, offering kindness, conserving resources, become significant when performed with purpose. Cultures throughout history have valued this mindful approach. From the meditative practices of the East to the contemplative traditions of the West, teachers have long urged people to pause and act with clarity. These practices are not mere rituals. They cultivate the ability to choose wisely rather than react blindly, a skill that might be central to any cosmic examination. Science supports the power of intention as well. Studies show that deliberate habits like gratitude, focused breathing, or compassionate action reshape neural pathways and improve well-being. These findings suggest that our minds and bodies respond to conscious direction, as if they were designed to flourish when we engage life thoughtfully. Intention also guides how we relate to the planet. Choosing sustainable energy, protecting habitats, and respecting natural limits are acts of deliberate care. In this sense, living with intention becomes a partnership with Earth itself, honoring the systems that sustain life. Whether or not a higher intelligence observes, the planet responds to our choices in climate, soil, and biodiversity, reflecting our stewardship or our neglect. Ultimately, intention invites us to create meaning rather than merely search for it. It challenges us to ask, what kind of presence will I be in the world? If Earth is a test, the quiet power of intentional living may be both the method and the answer, a way of showing that we understand the profound privilege of being alive and are willing to shape that gift with purpose and care. If Earth is a test, the mark we leave behind may be the clearest measure of our understanding. Every action becomes part of a chain that stretches into the future, shaping landscapes, cultures, and the lives of those yet to be born. Our legacy is not only monuments or inventions, but the quiet influence of choices that ripple through time, an enduring record of how we valued life and one another. Consider how the planet remembers. Coral reefs store centuries of growth in limestone layers, and tree rings preserve stories of drought and abundance. Likewise, human history carries the imprint of our compassion and care or of our neglect. The recovery of the ozone layer after global cooperation stands a hopeful inscription, while polluted rivers and vanishing species remind us of missteps that cannot easily be erased. Each generation inherits both the blessings and burdens of the ones before. The test may ask whether we can learn from past mistakes, protect what remains, and offer a world richer in kindness and possibility. Acts of stewardship, restoring forests, safeguarding clean water, fostering peace, are not merely environmental or political, they are gestures of respect to those who will follow. Legacy also lives in relationships and memory. The stories we share, the wisdom we pass on, and the empathy we nurture within families and communities endure long after individual lives end. In this way, even small moments of generosity or courage become part of humanity's collective answer to the cosmic question of how we choose to live. Cultures everywhere honor ancestors, not only to remember, but to continue a dialogue across time. Rituals of remembrance, from festivals to quiet moments of reflection, acknowledge that the present is inseparable from the past and that the future depends on our care today. Such practices embody the understanding that legacy is both inheritance and responsibility. Perhaps the ultimate lesson of this test is that our true monument is the world itself, cleaner air, thriving ecosystems, compassionate societies. Whether Earth was deliberately designed as an examination or simply offers the conditions for one, the challenge remains the same. What we leave behind, beauty or ruin, harmony or discord, will speak more eloquently than any words, telling future generations who we were and what we believe truly mattered. As the long journey of thought draws to a gentle end, imagine Earth turning quietly beneath a canopy of stars. Oceans breathe in steady rhythm, forests exhale cool night air, and distant mountains hold the memory of ages. Whether the planet is a carefully designed test or an extraordinary accident of cosmic chance, its enduring harmony invites us to pause and listen. The question may never be answered with certainty, yet the invitation to reflect is unmistakable. Throughout this exploration, we have seen how life is woven into patterns of interdependence, how change and contrast shape resilience, and how choice and intention give every action meaning. These insights suggest that the true measure of existence might not be in proving a theory, but in how we live each day, with curiosity, with compassion, and with reverence for the fragile systems that sustain us. The possibility that Earth is a test need not inspire fear. Instead, it can awaken gratitude. Each sunrise offers a chance to act with kindness. Each relationship provides an opportunity to learn empathy. Every breath reminds us of our connection to forests, oceans, and countless unseen lives. Whether or not a higher intelligence observes, these moments are their own quiet affirmation of purpose. Perhaps the real lesson is that meaning is created in the choices we make. We shape our own answers through stewardship of the planet, care for one another, and the courage to seek understanding even when the universe remains silent. In this light, the test is not about passing or failing, but about becoming, growing in wisdom and love as we journey through time. As night deepens, imagine lying beneath the stars, feeling the slow spin of the earth. The silence is not empty. It hums with possibility. You are part of a vast and beautiful story, connected to everything that has come before and everything yet to be. Whether Earth is a divine examination or a marvel of natural law, the truth remains. This world is precious, fleeting, and profoundly alive. To recognize its wonder and to live with mindful care may be the only answer the universe ever asks, and the most meaningful we can give.